Joining me now, Senior Director of Policy and Political Affairs for the American Jewish Committee, Julie Rayman. Julie, thank you for being with us. I think it's important that maybe we start by talking about why there is such global hatred towards Jews. How do you answer that question right now?
It's an age-old problem. It's an age-old question. And I don't necessarily think it's in this moment the right question. The right question is, why is this allowed to be a part of the conversation in the public discourse in the way that it is now? Why, after thousands of years of history fighting anti-Semitism, have we not yet learned what to do about it? We've taken remarkable strides. In this country, there is a national strategy to counter anti-Semitism. Yet what you're seeing on the streets, in campuses, and on social media is still really, really atrocious. So it's not really a question of why, but what are we going to do about it?
Right. Well, I do think it's two parts, and that's why I ask it is, what is the misinformation, the misguidance that is happening in people's minds that causes them to do these things? Is it not important to lay out right and wrong here and also explain what is going so wrong in their heads that they would carry out these acts?
Well, there's a tremendous amount of misinformation, as you say. A few weeks ago, there was an image of a car that had swastikas painted all over it and a Palestinian flag, right? And the comments, instead of saying, wow, look at how scary this is, that Nazi ideology is being combined and appropriated with support for the Palestinian cause, and what does that mean for Jews today? Instead, the comments were all about, wow, the Jews did a really good job creating this narrative to feed their own stories about victimhood, right? The misinformation is off the charts. It feeds a lot of conspiracies about Jewish control, Jewish greed that go back literally millennium. And what's happening in this moment is that because tensions are so high, because whenever there is violence in the Middle East, we find it exported to streets across the world. It's actually becoming very violent and very scary.
And to your second point, what do you do about it? Talk about some of the things that your organization is doing to combat this.
In a lot of ways, it's the same work that we have been doing, unfortunately, but it's making sure that elected officials understand what's at stake and that they're taking actions to protect the Jewish community in voice and in deed. At this moment, there are synagogues that on their own volition are spending thousands of dollars on security to keep people safe when they go to pray and worship in the United States, a country built on those freedoms. So making sure that elected officials, that our administration has the funding to ensure that places of worship can be protected, that people can worship in peace and security, making sure that our elected officials are not echoing the moral equivalency that we're seeing far too much in social media and on the streets, and making sure that people understand that there is a direct line between what happened on October 7th, when babies were beheaded, to the threats made by the student at Cornell, calling for Jewish throats to be slit. There is a direct line there. There's a direct connection, and one that we have to reject categorically.
Right. And it's not just we are seeing attacks against Jews. We just mentioned a moment ago that 6-year-old Palestinian-American boy in Illinois who was stabbed to death. His mom was attacked as well for being Muslim. How do we react to that side of this debate?
With a recognition that fighting hate and having empathy is not a zero-sum game. We can fight for Muslims in America to have the same rights to worship, to assemble, that we're saying Jews need in this moment. Mosques need those same protections that synagogues are seeking now as well. The exportation of this conflict is a threat to America. It's a threat to our values. And the appropriate response among people of all goodwill is to reject it, and reach out to anyone feeling vulnerable, whether they're Jews or Muslims, or other populations, with empathy, with care, with love and compassion.
Yeah, call it what it is hate, and we have to respond differently. Julia Rayman, thank you. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.